Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country. Because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them. And because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if these things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberian. Doesn't matter who you are at this point. Concord country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because of their vote, our leaders be able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est autisiquement encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé nous. Quand il va Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé. T'as bien de moi avec nous en ce moment. On va battre au moins néo. Mon temps dit est à mon mouillé. On s'est battu pour moi il pleure. Tout. Là loupé yo.
Doing anything that people get to amend it. And with me from 2005 to date, we're all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired, peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion. And it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You understand? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on a soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Ìyàwó abẹ́lá lókè yóò níbi tó jọba yìí níbi tó yànba máa ti sùnwọ̀n pé yóò máa jẹ́ jíjí wọ́n pè sàmẹ́ fọ́sí o sí ti kọ́nẹ́ ti kọ́nẹ́. L'animateur Choco Noska Yasin de Toyebi l'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniche les vieux.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, are largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have road? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about putting road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we'll prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, oh, stand to help you get elected. He talk nice about you on the radio station. Now he's stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children tuition, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe to change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. We're on it again tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We really do appreciate all of you that tuning in. Please share this video, share as many people as possible. We'd like many people to turn into LeBron Public Radio and have a conversation with us as well. I want to thank you again for the opportunity that you continue to give us, and we will do our best to make sure that the opportunity is not wasted. Thank you very much. Safety, Lord Jesus, we're here again tonight. And we will continue to be here as long as you allow us to be here. I want to thank you for that. My Lord, Liberia is about ready to go on another stressful time election. We put Liberians in your hands. Your hands are the mighty hands. Your hands will not fail us. Your hands have brought us from a destructive behavior before, and we trust you. You will do the same again. My Lord, help us, guide us, protect us, open our minds about this upcoming election, that we do not go the other way around. Let us all understand, my Lord, help us. The election is about electing someone you want them to lead you. My Lord, we will continue to pray for the leaders of the Republic of Liberia. We will continue to pray for the opposition leader of the Republic of Liberia. We ask you, my Lord, give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. My Lord, we ask you to bless us all and continue to protect us. Jesus. Yes, my Lord. We put Liberia in your hands. Only through you that these things are possible. Your hands are the mighty hands. And with your hands around us, nothing can harm us. We want to thank you. We want to thank you for accepting our prayer again this evening. We want to thank you. My Lord, we ask that you bless the host country of the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get it going, folks. We send the link out, folks. So those of you that have the opportunity now, if you care to join, that will be fine. My goodness. News and videos that are coming from Liberia are not encouraging at all with respect to this upcoming election. They are not encouraging. I hope somebody will be the big person, the bigger man in the room and say enough is enough. We're not going to go this route. This is unacceptable. I was here last night condemning the act. And now we have Mo Ali, the spokesperson for the opposition, main opposition, is saying that they're no longer going to sit down and allow CDC talk to bully them. They will do whatever that is illegally, whatever that is in their means and right. They will protect themselves. Where are we going? True statement, acceptable statement. But what Mo Ali and the rest of the people don't understand, that not every supporter of the Unity Party are on the same level in terms of political tolerance with Mo Ali and the rest of the people. If you have these two groups in the same area, you're not going to like what you're going to see. Instead of Mo Ali, and I'm not saying that they should put their hands behind their back while CDC punching them in the face. That's not what I'm suggesting here tonight. That's not what I do either. You punch me one time before you look 15 already on you. I'm not going to fool around with you. I'm not here to take the kumbaya. You heard me? I'm coming. But this is not about it. This is about the country. When I used to fight, yeah, I defend my brothers and sisters, but I fight, and it was me, Samson, too, except for one guy used to fight with me. Every time I get in a fight, he's there to call it city soccer. We used to enjoy ourselves. But those are the days. I'm not about that tonight. The point here is this. If Mo Ali and the rest of the folks that say violence is not what they want to do, they should push the envelope. Engage CDC and engage other political leaders. It's not late yet. By you engaging, I believe, Mr. Watt, good evening to you. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. For me, engaging someone in this type of time does not mean that you are weak. In fact, I believe it makes you stronger. It makes the other person look like they are nothing but just a troublemaker. Engage CDC, engage the other political leaders, and ask questions. What is going on? What are we missing here? Unity Party, you've been going around. You say you're going to win the election. It's nothing going to stop Ambassador Barker. I believe that as well. How are you going to win the election when there's a problem? How are you going to show to the Liberian people that Ambassador Barker has the ability to lead when there's a problem? The election are not going the way they're supposed to. How are you going to show the people, Mo Ali, that you, under your chairmanship, under your leadership, that the Liberian people should gravitate towards Ambassador Barker because you are a non-violent person and you are there to solve the problem of the Liberian people? Can you do that? As Sissy said correctly last night, you know one thing about Sissy, he's very smart. He's very smart, very intelligent, very smart, very smart. I wish I got money. I got money. I said, yeah, all the job the people get you, leave it. Go to Liberia. I'll pay you. But I got money to pay him, man. I'll stay here. This is what he said last night. How can you try when you, even if you guys fight hard for Ambassador Barker to win? Sissy is suggesting that if you win, how do you go into govern sedition that are also Liberians? Why aren't you guys thinking about that? You're going to have to go, you're going to have to stand your ground. This is not about standing your ground. I'm totally against that. I'm totally against the route the people are taking. Those who support Ambassador Barker, I'm totally against that route. I'm not saying that you should sit down for CDC to try to hurt your people. Far from it. Far from it. Where's the police anyway? Why are they not doing anything? So if they're not going to be counted on, then let them excuse us. Let's go to the court. You have Key Hudson coming out here. There's a newspaper that I was reading here, and Key Hudson coming up here last night talking about the young man explained to Front Page Africa that he is a Unity Party supporter, and that they cut their ears. Sedition did, and Key Hudson came out here last night and said that man is a sedition whose ears were cut by Unity Party saying. And I read it. I pointed out to him. Key Hudson simply told me that he's going to call Ronnie Shea to change the story. That's what we have. This is what we are. This is what we are. Are we serious? Are we serious? This is something that you know what, folks. We watched it before. Back in 1985, I made the same statement. You bring war, nobody will win. We're all going to be the loser. They didn't believe me. Look what happened. We all crying. We're still missing our people. There is not one single Liberian to say a village in Liberia that was not touched by this war. And you guys know exactly what election is. You saw what it did to Madam Ure the last time. Representative position. It's not even a presidential position. And you guys are not ready. All along you've been making this campaign from you're going to do this, and you're not quite ready. How are you? The question that I have for Mo Ali and the rest, including Kia San, also, how are you going to rule Liberia when you have so much opposition that perhaps will not even be happy with you? Or you're going to rule half Liberia? Or how are you going to call it, a greater Liberia to deter? Come on, guys. Come on. Why are we treating each other like that? Where are the smart people? You see, this is what really get to me. People are more highly educated. He's not dumb. He have some educated as well. But they're all taking their position and forgetting to know the middle is where we all supposed to be. President, we are seeking re-election, I believe, to move Liberia to the next level. Ambassador Baka is seeking the unseat President we are because he thinks he can do better than what President we have done and what he's going to do. True statement, all of them. But can we have that debate? Can we have that engagement without bloodshed, my people? What's wrong with that? And when you go on to listen to some of the platform, they're accusing people of drugs. They're using drugs. They have no evidence whatsoever. It's, because it's election time. Many of you smart, intelligent, highly educated, and you're going to open your mouth on this platform, accusing people with no evidence whatsoever. But you expect that when you win, it is because of campaign time. So you can say anything. You can say anything about anybody because it's campaign time. Knowing full well that our people are not as sophisticated as you think they are in terms of election. But what do we do? What do we do? Should I sit here and say, Mo Ali, you have no right to say that? It's not wrong. Why would I want the Unity Party to sit down and allow sedition talk, they call them, to go out and harm them? No. But retaliation and the planning to retaliate is not the answer either. You see, then the people say, oh, look at him, Mr. Toy, he's sitting over there in Sacramento, definitely eating heavy casali. He's sitting down there running more against the net. He thinks we here in the place that they're raining, we're sweating on the rain. It's raining, but it's sweating. We're sweating on the rain. The heat want to kill us. You can't see. The people here doing this and doing that. I understand that. But election violence is not going to take you anywhere. I also understand that people who and you used to run around 6 years ago, pretty much no place to take a shower, pretty much nowhere to live, pretty much in the street of Monrovia, have nothing for themselves. They are millionaires today. How did it get there? I understand all of that. But violence will not redeem you, and violence will not give you the kind of result you're looking for. You're not going to be able to achieve it. Because here's the thing here. Everybody say, oh, this is a sedition act, and that's why they behave. Of course. Of course. Somebody who snows, when everybody know about his snowing business, he goes somewhere. Sedition have always been violent people. That not first time I've been saying this. I've been saying it years and years ago. But this thing here, this is not the time to reply. Invite, find a way. You have international community that are watching. You have the election commission that are there. But how are you going to go to election commission? The guy election commission truck. GSA election commission truck is being used to hang President Weah banner up. I got a picture here. How come on with ordinary Liberian trust those people? This country is we ourselves, we're going to have to allow ourselves to enjoy this election. Forget about the people that are trying to mess it up. This is an election that I've never like this before. A lot of us, many of us Liberians that are getting older now, have worked in a foreign land, build people roll. Let me just give you a story here. If it wasn't the fact that I'm one of the senior person at this place, I probably would have been giving a slip to get out today. I was so frustrated. They came out, I did a project, built a road, designed it, they're doing the construction, everything. I'm supposed to go out and see my handiwork and stuff, everything. But I don't know where they want to come from me today. Maybe I was missing too. They had a meeting, and the guy called me up, said, can you say something to the squad to praise them? I just went off. Why would I always want to praise people? You know where I'm coming from? And with no role in Grand Gila, what do they know about Grand Gila country? No role in Grand Gila country. I'm here doing all the... And this guy looked at me and said, Mr. To, are you serious? What are you talking about? And then I cut myself. I thought I was talking to CDC, sedition, and I cut myself. I said, I'm just playing around. And then the Congolese guy said, Samson, what's going on? But this is, it's not just you. Some of us been working so long now, we want to go home. I was in Liberia the last time. I got stuck on Ralphie Highway from 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. just from Cooper, I call it SD Cooper Boulevard, right there by the stadium. From there to where Joe used to live, President Weah used to live, rehab. People got stuck in the car. They can't move. At the end, I saw people with AK-47. I got a video. I made a video. I was so traumatized. I saw people with AK-47, 1 o'clock at night, using guns to direct traffic in Monrovia. I called because I was on the phone the whole time with my friend. I want to make sure that I'm okay. So I was on the phone with him most of the time. So when I explained, they said, oh, maybe the president's going out somewhere so that, the security was there to protect and stuff. Okay. 2 days later, the area where I was living, there was an accident, a truck, an SUV. Same situation. Police came in with AK-47 directing traffic in Liberia. I said, for one, some of you would say, oh, but the people here, Mr. Toad, they got gun, of course. But when was the last time you saw the policeman take out his gun and use his gun to tell traffic, go that way and go that way? Just stop this thing. Liberians have, this war has helped many Liberians to go out, educate themselves, and they want to come home. But the corruption, they don't trust anybody, not even their own relatives. The corrupt behavior in us is just too much. Too much. From people, do you guys really believe that we'll have a peaceful election? I hope we do. I hope we will. This is, you know what? We're suffering. Oh, we're suffering. When I mean suffering, those of us here in the diaspora, we're truly suffering. Yeah, you can work. This Friday, plenty of people got money right now. They got paid. They're getting ready to go out. Why you think many of them want to go out tonight and go waste themselves? Because you think in Monrovia, well, like Kakata and Monrovia, or in fact, Sarno County and Monrovia. You see Monrovia, I'm in Monrovia tonight, but they play too far. I can't just get on and go. But the suffering part about it in the diaspora, Liberian diaspora, the suffering. Now, every one of you that are watching me now, the statement I'm about to make, tell me if I'm wrong. Since today, since you got up from bed, how many times the word Liberia come to mind? How many times that you have conversation, whether be on phone with somebody or something, and the word Liberia didn't come to play? Today, I'm not talking about yesterday, I said today. Why do we have to go through that? Every one of us have ideas of what is supposed to be happening in our country. And if people are giving opportunity, they go and steal. I'm going to say this. I'm not going to call name. But there are people right now higher up that I know on projects. I'm not going to discuss it. The corrupt, and they come on TV. And I see them every time. They come on in the media, in the press. You see their picture. They're ministers, they're directors, and they go along with World Bank. They are rogue. These people are thieves, but they go and pretend like they're nothing. One of them, my friend with one of them on Facebook. I look at him today. I said, "What kind of man? This is a corrupt man that I know. He's corrupt. I know that. I've seen him in action." When do we graduate from these things? Another question. Even if President Weah was to be defeated by Ambassador Baka, you think we would change? It's here just like elephant meal. We go, somebody come in and eat, another person come in and eat. You mean there is no Liberian among us that is willing to sacrifice, not killing himself, but to sacrifice to say enough is enough? This country must be moved. Nothing else. Nothing else. We don't have that yet. I have not seen it yet. All of these people, JMB this, JMB that, all of them, many of them are there. As soon as they win the election, they're all looking for position. They are not after JMB because the JMB has the ability to curtail corruption. Far from it. They're all in this thing for themselves. And this is the thing. I know it. But yes, still I campaign. That's a good thing about Ambassador Baka. But I know that many of these people are corrupt, just like the going out, soon to be outgoing government. But yes, still, I don't know what's wrong with us. I sit here every night Pastor Baka is a rescue. He's going to do more. But I know he can't do it by himself. And the people around here are just as corrupt as anything else. My people, where do we go? Who do we talk to? Where can we go to have a serious rescue? The situation in Liberia is I'm not going to say helpless, because we are God's children. God will redeem us one day. This country can't go on like this here forever. It's not going to go on like this here forever. The other group come in. Man, I'm selling her. People king. All black. They want here. Oh, no. Where the money today? Nothing. You don't even see them. They're not in Liberia. Many of the people that were making the $15,000, $16,000 a month, they're not even in Liberia anymore. They act like they're foreigner now. So when do we do these things and say, yes, I'm going to stay and suffer just like my brothers and sisters? They've represented them. All of the people that are looking for representatives, not because they got idea to move Liberia. No. They want the paycheck. The representative job right now is like a job they can make good money on. It's not like they're coming in for ideas. Far from it. Far from it. Far from it. The senatorial position, far from it. Why up to this time? Up to this time. Since President Weah came to power, and I'm not blaming him for it, please, let me make that clear. I'm just giving an example. The traffic situation in Liberia has not changed. I was there, 2018, traffic, Tottenham Boulevard, nothing have changed. SKD Junction, nothing have changed. I call it EWA Junction, nothing have changed. I was there, 2017, same thing. This one time they say, oh, we're going to do a great separation, pass over. Nothing. 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 You're driving from Monrovia going to EWA. The people now it's worse. Because the pimp and the keke, they don't even care for your car. That I will buy a new car and go to Monrovia. I beg you. When I want car, I will buy the Doisier in Monrovia. All I know the engine will be good. The body will be mashed up. Because I'm not going to put a new car in Monrovia. For what? To suffer myself? They don't care for your property. So if you buy a car, you want to buy something that has bad body, good engine, but the body is not something that you care for. For what? Why are we living like that? You got these ministers. You got these people that building houses. You got 4 or 5 of them on one street. They're all waiting for each other to fix that street. You drive into their house and you go like this, your car going like this, your car going up and down like this. You can't drive, and they're making money. Oh, why are we so wicked to ourselves? Why are we so wicked to ourselves? They say, oh, I'm building you road. They're building the community road. They bring the dirt. They rack in the dirt. Common sense. They're not using it. But people, they bring the dirt on the road and they use grader to grade the dirt and the rock. When it rains, the dirt settle down, the rock standing up. So most of the road they have all rock. So when you're driving, you're trying to go on the side, you don't want to hit the rock because now the dirt has settled. What is this? It's not just one place. All over Monrovia. And they're not stupid. But that is same people now asking you to vote for them. Hey, my people. I don't know. You know, one of the things that I've been thinking also lately is maybe our great-great-great-grandfather in the 1800s, maybe they were really enjoying themselves. Even though they were not wearing pants and things like that, but they didn't have to worry about all kinds of stuff. And one of the things the story that I heard over and over, you hear, you say, oh, the other people, they're warrior. But they don't just get and go fight war. There's a story in my area. When you get in that town, you can't sing the song. You sing the song, they'll deal with you. So, but every time I get in that town, I always want to sing that song, but I dare not sing the song. But the guy in the town, the chief went to the other people's place and took his wife, took the other chief little brother wife. So the guy said, when he told his brother, he said, okay, I'll deal with it. Send people there to go get it. They say, you'll bring the wife, but you don't know that it meant wife. They say, we ain't got nothing to talk to you about because they believe they're good warriors. It's okay. They send people again. The third time when they send a man to go talk, the people not only just call your ear, they call a finger there and say, now take it by and tell them, say, the people want to talk to you. When that happened, the chief in that town didn't just go. He started going to found the Allah. Those are Nima County people now. Started going, complaining. All the people in that area, they say, no, the people, what they're doing are bad thing. So all of them joined together. That town, never after that, nobody live in that town anymore. They move out. They don't just get and go fight war. In fact, there's a saying in Madale that a war that has no rights will not win. Why are we so wicked to ourselves? Why? Look at Liberia. Look at the road to bombing. As an engineer, when I look at the picture of that road, simple stuff. We'll be inside for a long time. How the heck you want to change the terrain of the earth without regrading? The contour of the earth, the contour of the area go like that, up and down, up and down. Then you decide, okay, I will go, then I will take it up and still leave it down here. What do you expect? That area, they decide to fill it in. Knowing full well that is the area, the ditch, the water bank going there thousands and thousands a year. You want to block that ditch, go upstream and change the direction of the ditch by creating another ditch that will be lower because water want to go toward the ocean. They want to take the lower, the water will always take the least path and the resisting. The water don't go uphill. So you change the path and make it so that the water will find a way to go and do your thing. They didn't do it. They block it. And what did they do? They put one little, my people. And these people are educated. You got all the water that comes from that area that use a channel. When it rains, the water flow that area. Then you want to buy a small little pipe and put it in. And you know why they did? These people are so, I don't want to use some words, but they're not smart. You know why they did that? You know why they put a small pipe? Because if they make it big, if they put big pipe on it, then the cover of that pipe will be small for the truck then to ride on. So they decided to put small pipe and make the cover big, so the big truck that taking the iron ore and things like that will be able to ride on the road. Well, when it rained, all that water came force in that pipe. So what was happening? It started eroding around the pipe. So those rock then start going through the pipe. So before you look, the whole thing underneath the quota, boom, water took it away. Why? Right here. I just finished designing that road. Right here. I just finished designing it. Why do they behave like that? Unbelievable. But these are the same people today. They're asking you to give them another turn. And the people who say they're better, the rescue team and things like that, let's look at their record. They got records. But instead of them coming out and telling you what they're going to do specifically, they use the term, we'll come rescue. When you rescue, you come and rescue something for what? Am I somebody take me prisoner that you come and rescue me? What is the policy? Okay, Judge, we have monetary policy, whatever it is, not working. Okay. Tell the library, you think with the one just say, even me, I say, I understand myself. Me, I say, I don't understand. But you think the people in town will be able to understand that? And you'll be serious, man. You'll be serious. But here's the thing here on a very serious note, folks. And I'm going to be opening the line here very shortly here so that anybody who want to call can call in. I might not even stay that long tonight. It's Friday anyway. But here's the interesting thing here. One time I had Mama Musa on my show and I was interviewing him. And I asked him one time, there's a guy that we all saw playing football. They call him Dog Killer. He used to kick. When he kick, he open his leg. Why? So I asked Mama Musa, I said, what do you remember? He said, yeah, I remember him. He said, the man PC. The man can't play. The only thing he wants to do is put fear in people by kicking and spraying his leg. He can't play fasten. He can't play. So, but he said the way I used to deal with him, I drove on him. I drove her, go there, come back, and I drove her again 2-3 times. He stopped. You're not kicking rest when it come to me. This is what people do. They got nothing to offer. And so here's the thing here. So I'm also putting the opposition in the same block. Terry, when you're ready, just put your finger up, your thumb up, and I will bring you on. Okay? All right. Okay, you're ready. All right, let me bring in Terry here. Oh, what happened? My people?
Yeah.
Are you there, Terry?
I'm not hearing. I don't know.
Oh. Wait, Terry, but you gotta face it. You gotta face your camera, dude. Okay, Terry going. Okay. But anyway, so they don't have nothing to offer but to bluster. So that's what I'm saying to Unity Party. Don't follow that. A CDC, interesting thing is happening right now. Interesting thing is happening in Liberia. Few months ago, the election might not end well though. Few months ago, the vice president was at the head, campaigning seriously. Now it's only the president. The president. I have not seen the vice president lately. Maybe she's out there, but I have not seen her. This is something that is concerning. Another thing. If CDC have all of the things to offer, to tell us, I think I heard the president naming 6 things that he think Liberia is safe, Liberia is this, 6 of them. In all of that 6, nothing specific that you can, yeah, Liberia safe because Liberia want to be safe. So those things, those kinds of stuff, they are general. You would think the president, of all of these things people talk about, they will come out and be a little bit specific, but nothing. Terry, I don't know what happened to your connection, but please come back to us. I don't know what's going on with that. What I'm trying to do now, okay, Terry, but you gotta turn the camera towards the ceiling so we'll see your whole face, your whole head. Yeah, keep going a little bit more. Okay, let me bring you in and see where it will be. All right, much better.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, but I think we're getting a little bit echo or someone like. Okay, here we go. Can you lower your mic? Okay, yeah, much better. Okay, thank you for joining us tonight. We're not going to be here that long, but I just want to have conversation on this here. So, no, I was just going on with this information from Mo Ali this afternoon that I saw on the internet. I was much discouraging. It didn't boast well because I thought that Mo Ali, as intelligent and intellectual he is, I thought perhaps he would have gone to CDC and asked his counterpart in CDC for a meeting where these things will be discussed. Because if you know that you're gonna win, you play football, you know you're gonna win again. If people start fighting, you want to calm things down, so you will win. So people know that you're a good player.
Right.
But if people then I can't play, that people will be afraid to start throwing with you because they can't play. So when they game in fighting, then the people know that the people don't know that you can ring bell, but you can ring bell, you can move the tabella. As soon as it's man, you calm down. Let's play. We're here to enjoy ourselves. Then you start calming things down because you know you want to demonstrate. And I thought that's what Unity Party would have done. But instead, I heard more, which I'm not blaming him, to be honest. But I heard him saying that they will not stand by and allow sedition goons to go and harm them. The next time they try that, they will meet with I thought that was way too much. And it didn't, as far as I'm concerned, that's not encouraging at all. Because if you plan that, CDC themselves, they're also going to say, oh, okay, if I'm not going to win, you're not going to have it either. If that mindset sets in, where one of them or somebody say, if I can't have it, you can't have it, then we have a problem. So welcome, Terry. What's on your mind?
Yeah, Mr. To, what you're saying is true. I believe that you have a genuine point, but also you got to look at the frustration of the Unity Party too. They kind of frustrated in the way things are going. The violence and the government is not being responsible enough to take actions adequately as supposed to. And those things can become frustrating. That is why we say that the government should be the one to take responsibility. See, up to now, President Weah have said nothing. President Weah have said nothing. You see, what can provoke these things is when the president says nothing, then it sends a bad signal to the opposition that the president might have been in the know to what is going on. You see, so that from my perspective, that is what I think is happening. That probably could be the reason why Mo Ali was provoked to make a statement that he made, even though I do support it, in as much as what some of the things he said, as a leader, when you speak like that, it have the propensity to bring an uprising. All right, it have the propensity to create confusion. It could motivate your supporters to create confusion. Equally so too, if the president don't speak out, obviously it sends a signal that he concur, he agree with what happened to the people. And President Weah have been doing that. But my concern have to do with that brought me on actually, because I'm kind of lazy today. But my concern have to do with the statement that Jefferson Koji made. All right, Jefferson Koji said that.
When was it? Is that the one that you saw on LPR website?
Yes, it's still there. It's on LPR in a group. You're right. And he said that the Russians are here. He said the Russians are in Liberia. And the Russians told them by intelligence, not told them, but they heard from the Russians that the Russians, he trying to say that the Russians came in the country by way of the opposition. Now, you see, these are some of the reasons why probably Mo Ali is saying the thing, because you can't be in leadership and speak like that. It's very dangerous. And President Weah have said nothing. These are some of the things. He said the Russians told them, because journalists then were there, it's on the media. I don't know why media outlets are now highlighting these things, because these are all stages for chaos. He said the Russians told the opposition that the CDC-led government is leading 47% in the polls. That is why when people say that Unity Party people like to act like they entitled to the presidency. I just look at them a lot. So then what you say about CDC? The man saying publicly that the Russians told that they got information that the Russians are in the country and that the Russians, he trying to pin it on the opposition, that the opposition brought the Russians in the country to tamper with the elections. That is how he put it. And he said the Russians told them that, but the CDC-led government is leading by 47% in the polls. So he now is coming to tell them that they need to be patient. They're going to win this election. They just need few more percentage and one round victory is certain. So when you begin to say these things, then and you are in power, what does that? What kind of signal does that send? You understand? What kind of signal does that send, Mr. To?
Yeah. Well, that's very sad. I blame myself. You've been saying this thing. You've been talking about the video now for the last 2 days or 3 days, to be specific. I will look it over over the weekend, and then Monday definitely I will immerse myself in it. And then Monday I will come back and we will talk about it. But from the place you sit and your own contact and what have you in Liberia, do you believe that we're going to have a fair and free election, violent, free, specific?
Well, from my own religious perspective, we are praying for the elections, and I believe that by God's help, the elections going to be free and fair. But again, from a natural look of things, it's it's going to be difficult for me to just agree that the election is going to be free and fair if the government does not take the leading role to make things to be stabilized. If President Weah does not take the leading role, things might likely escalate. But I do not think and I do not believe that the election is going to be rigged. In fact, I was one of those who have been thinking that there's a possibility for rigging because obviously most people believe that CDC don't want to leave power, all right, and they have all the resources. But then again, from my own religious background as a man of faith, believe in God, I take that back to want to agree that once the Liberian people vote the right person will be elected. Like CDC conducted several elections in the country, and those elections seem to be free and fair. All right, so we cannot just jump the gun and say, oh, you know what, this time around CDC is going to rig it, or it's not going to be free and fair. I believe that it is the responsibility of all opposition or political parties to protect their votes. And I think that is really what they really need to do. But when it comes to elections being free and fair or without violence, I want to believe that the elections can be free and fair if the oppositions do what they're supposed to do by protecting their votes.
So you think if the opposition was to win the election by 10 points or less, you think CDC will accept the result? If the winning margin, if it is not massive, and if it is just 10 points or less, you think 5 point up from 5 to 10, you think CDC will accept the result?
Well, I think to myself very highly that nobody is going to accept the result just at first hand. In my mind, it's going to be difficult for either group, the opposition and the ruling establishment, to just accept the first result that's going to come up from next, because there will be some level of irregularities in some areas that they will not be satisfied with, like all the elections. All right, it happened to every election. CDC never agreed to 2005 election. They said that 2005 election was rigged. They said 2011 elections were rigged. They said So the Unity Party people too said 2017 election were rigged. So there have never been a free and fair and transparent election that I have witnessed happen in Liberia. There was always a disenchantment from either side. So I do expect that to happen, that either side will disagree with the result in the preliminary, in the first stage, until they may go to court, and after that, judgment will be made. But I really do not think that if CDC happens to lose this election by 10 points margin, or the opposition lost the election by 10-point margin, either one of them that is on the losing end, I want to believe that they would not agree to the result.
So what do you expect to happen? Would you see them using the court system, or perhaps they will bring some sort of a argument that might result into some sort of a physical engagement?
Yeah, that is what we really need to worry about, because from my understanding, we don't have on-mail now. Like under Madam Ellen Sirleaf leadership, even though by the time CDC won the elections, on-mail have almost left the country. But right now, this will be our first election held that's supposed to be successful without any international or troops backing us. Even though we had that during Taylor's time, but we all know what happened after Taylor won the election. All right, people went back in the bush and came with something. So after this whole entire war, having nobody on the ground, that is why this election is very crucial. And that is the reason why we have to press our people by all means to continue to exercise resolve and peace. Because this election, if it's not well taken care of, it could plunge Liberia back into some kind of chaos. And many people don't like to hear it, but it is what it is. Because this is going to be Liberia's first time having a peaceful elections that's supposed to go through a democratic process, free and fair, on their own, without international involvement, international community involvement, or sending troops, trying to talk peace talk, rebels and all that kind of thing. This would be the first time. So if President Weah is truly a man of peace, this is when he's supposed to step up higher than he been stepping up before, by coming up to encourage his people to continue to exercise peace, to continue to be calm, because they are in power, they running the country, to continue to remain resolute, in the process. Because if that is not done, and there's a violence portrayed prior to the process, if CDC happen to win the election based upon the chaos, the violence, it could definitely start another eruption or insurrection. And I don't pray for that. I'm praying against that vehemently.
Okay, folks, Samson told Labron Paredo. Mr. George, when you're ready, just put your thumb up and I'll bring you in. Okay. All right. Let me bring in Mr. George, who has been away from us now for almost more than a week or so. Welcome back, and nice seeing you again. Thank you very much for joining us. You're not ready.
No, I am.
Okay. All right. So you'll call us back. Okay. Terry, let's go ahead on this route still. And okay. That is so if you have the magic wand to shake magic and able to bring something that will be peaceful, but through election, democracy continue. What are some of the things that perhaps if you were in charge, what are some of the things that perhaps you would do differently than what these people are doing right now?
Like in charge of the government, like being
in charge of the electoral process in Liberia. I'll say when you talk, people listening to you, like Ian Houghton. When Ian Houghton talk, everybody listen. That kind of stuff.
Well, in my opinion, I think that one of the ways to curtail electoral violence, like what we were talking last night, when CDC is in Newtown, then Unity Party or ANC should be in West Point or Oro. The best way to curtail electoral violence, both parties cannot be campaigning in the same community. It will always cause chaos. Even like CDC in Cinco, then or Unity Party on the Oro is going to cause chaos because the president will carry an entourage and the rule will be black. And definitely it will cause chaos up and down. That is one aspect that needs to be addressed very seriously. All right. The second aspect that needs to be addressed very seriously, is the aspect of provocation. Provocation. All right. Political parties provoking each other, calling like something you said. They said, "Oh, the president on couche," all those kind of thing. The other man said, the other group of people say Joseph Burger sleeping. The old man, he's dead. They put in casket picture, all those kind of thing. Those are things that can lead to electoral violence. All right. So you can run your campaign without provoking the next group of people. You don't have to provoke somebody. You can run your campaign and have a nice time. So in my mind, I think that, but the most important thing that people will listen to, I think that will calm everything down is the president. I will never forget when the president made that statement after that casket toting stuff. You see the seditions, they came down, seriously listening to the leader. The moment President Weah speak, it's done. And that is what he need to do. He need to speak peacefully. When this kind of thing happen, he need to come out and speak and say something about it to his people. And if he does that, everything will calm down. Because to be honest with you, Unity Party people does not create violence. I'm not saying they are not going to, because right now Unity Party got the you got the Prince Johnson Party collaboration. You got Medela Cooper on board. You got the other segment of the Liberty Party on board. So with all those parties together, you never know what will happen. But the key, the person who holds the key to calming things down is President Weah, in my opinion.
Okay, well, fair assessment. Thank you for that, Mr. George. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. I know you've been listening, and I know you've been following most of the stuff. What's on your plate this afternoon, sir?
I'm just following politics of the day in Liberia and what transpired this week and last week. But let me say this thing here. I saw both press conferences, Jefferson Mayor Kochi and Mo Ali, and the displays of human beings that were heard on both sides. First thing is, for me, I do not condone violence. But what I always say, violence is something nobody can go and purchase. Nobody can purchase it. This militant idea that people want to use to tell other people that they are strong, that they have the power, that they are dominant. People, I think, should graduate from that kind of way of behaving. Everybody in Liberia has a responsibility to keep the peace. Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody. Honorable Boakai has a responsibility. Honorable Commis, Gongo, George, we all have a responsibility. When this thing happened, the leader in the institution is supposed to come out to speak to the country, the partisan and the citizen of the country. But you see one person come out to say something that sometimes will tend to flame the situation. Both sides, look at the statement from Jefferson Kochi, the one from Mo Ali. Is that Are those statements that will calm the situation down? No. Those statements are nothing to calm the situation down. And people go above to make some statement that you wonder. These same people are the same people talking about peace, but the message they're sending is conflicting. And I was telling someone, I said, look, with all due respect, Jefferson Coach should not be someone to be accusing people of violence. I said, she's not the right messenger. I said, Jefferson Coach is not the right messenger for CDC to push peace. He's not the right person. Because this man has a record. Every violence that the CDC have engaged in, allegedly engaging with other people, Jefferson Coach have all been in the center of it. So is he the one that can start telling people to lecture people about peace? And his press conference Sunday, I took something from that press conference yesterday. That boy, the boy that was showing yesterday. Mr. Toe, I don't know, he saw that press conference. He went far to go extreme. The people are now attacking people from Nima.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the kind of statement you're making.
Yeah.
That one incident, is it what you want to use now? That the people now attacking people from Nima? What is it? What is the message you're trying to send to the people of Nima? The danger involved is that not everybody will try to read between the lines to say, no. Don't draw the people in. Some group of people say, oh yeah, we saw our brother there, the people want to attack our brother. They're coming after us again. So as a leader, when you're speaking to this issue, you have to be very careful how you go about putting the words out there. And the way you refer to, I know people get mad with me. You are naming all the different tribes, that nickname. And you went back home, said the warriors, the LFA hunters. That the people of Ryan Gay you were referring to. Jefferson coaching. There are just certain things you don't say at a certain time. But let me just leave it there. So I'm just telling people, model, the using language. I think when this thing happens, they should come out to address some of the issue. Because Jefferson coaching is not a good messenger for the kind of thing here. And person we are, as I said, person we are, it's not only person we are this thing rest with. It also read on about Joseph Buckeye. There's an Cummings and Tewa Conclo. These are the leaders of the political institution. When these things happen, they should come out and address it because they got many followers that listen to them. They are the leader of the institution. They should come out and address it. Try to bring the temperature down. Because what more, I said that, yes, in some sense, it makes sense because nobody will sit down for people to come and start brutalizing them. No. People will have to fight back. So there is a caveat to that. In that much people want peace, but one group of people cannot be raining trouble on other people. This thing is like this thing is like a tactic decision used to intimidate other people, other political leaders, political parties. 2005, we saw the same thing. 11, the same thing. It's like a pattern they use to intimidate other people. You, Mr. Toy, you were seeing the same thing the other day. That when CDC say if the United Party would get in the street, they will see. Before the incident happened, last week, they made some statement, it will see them in the street, they will see what will happen. CDC will cover up. Now, you see there, those are the kind of statement people can attribute to you to say, yes, your action was premeditated. Because when United Party were coming out, CDC will say, hey, when we see them, you will see what happened. Now, yesterday, what transpired? So let me just rest right there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying. I don't know if I'm gonna remain a shell for long, because now you and Terry have talked about this video. Now Terry have been telling me about this video for the last 3 days. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna really dissect it and do the same thing with more Ali video, and then I will come on Monday and go with my Tabata. But Mr. George, it's very sad because I thought this would have been a day and time for the president. We was saying this is a time for us to shine, where I can show my journalistic tactic here and try to analyze and who's going to win and what poll say, whatever poll I dream of my Dumbo, my finish swallowing heavy Dumbo, I say they poll say and they're that poll, but they're not giving me the opportunity to even enjoy myself. Now we've been on this thing for more than an hour just talking about violence. This is unacceptable. Let the people, let us, those of us that come out every, in the last 2 weeks, I try to stay away from promoting and then what have you. I want to just be calm and just, push the line of peace and what have you. But it's difficult to do when you see people getting hurt. How do you continue to tell the man, don't say anything or don't do anything? You can't tell the man, say, put your hand behind your back for the people to hurt you. You can't do that.
But what happened? Let me say this to you. And when I say people get mad with me, I said some of the actions are sanctioned by President William action. You saw that from his own agreement when he came right in the hall when he went after Bullrich.
Yeah.
So you see, these aspects, that's what we're talking. People say we don't like the man, but you have to live above the phrase. You just come from signing an agreement, and you saw something that happened. I don't know how many years now you're gone. You have gotten more than that, but yet, also you're going after someone in the very hall, very hour, very minute. So what is the message you're sending down to your followers? Now, look, and one thing I don't like, the president that go in the church to address this issue. Is there everybody that listens to the president when he goes to his church? I'm a member of that church. Why the president, even if you write a press statement, a press release, and send it to EFBC, let it read it, signed by the president or from the office of the president. That is much better. That's a violent issue. You're going to church to address it, that way you're going to condemn it. I'm not a member of your church. Do everybody listen to the radio when President William is preaching?
Yeah. Let me bring in Terry. Terry, I'm a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. We'll just continue to pray. But let me ask you this though. You are a strong supporter of Ambassador Bakai. Do you think? I know just from the few times you and I have been having these kind of conversation, I want to believe that before you get into something, you analyze and what have you. Do you think Ambassador Barker has it within him, not only to rescue, but with all of these potential conflict that might happen, and if he wins, will he be able to rally Liberians together and come together and unite us so that he'll be able to lead peacefully? Or you think he would just be like Judge Weir and these people who will lead those who want to be led?
Well, that's a very good question, Mr. So, and that is what we all hope to see, because you can only hope. Like even with Mr. Cummings, I hear Mr. Cummings, people say, oh, Mr. Cummings will do this, Mr. Cummings will do that. Like they know that he will do it. You and I do not know that JMB will do it, but we trust that he will do it on the basis of his past record, because everybody have a past, everybody have a history. People trust that Mr. Cummings will do it because they're looking at Mr. Cummings' past record. People trust that Terwin will do it because they're looking at Terwin's past record. Likewise, President, we have past record too. So the reason we're having all of these conversations and all of these happenings that the Liberian people do not expect anything different is because people know CDC. They have a past record. But so, in my opinion, right, I believe that Ambassador Boyka can reconcile Liberia, which I think that is the most important thing Liberia needs. Liberia needs healing. Liberia needs restoration. Liberia needs reconciliation. And
then let me ask you this. You're on the right path, and some of the things that you're naming making me to be joyful, to be honest with you. But those around Ambassador Bakai right now, that you know, do they have the experience? And not only experience, do they have the mindset of putting Liberia first? You think that's what they're going to go by, or they're there for themselves, just like the group that they want out?
Yeah, I really want to believe that there are some people around Ambassador Boyka just because they want job and they want to steal as well. You know, I would not want to sit here and say there are people there coming around the puppet that just going to just coming for the interest of Liberia. I don't want to agree with that. All right, but I think the leader of any group or a nation, especially for Liberia, the kind of government we run in Liberia, the leader bear the most responsibility. That is why if the leader do not know what to do, it affects the entire country, because when you become the president of the country, everybody around you look up to you to decide what is the next stage, how things are going to look like. So if the leader do not know what to do, it affects everybody. I think Honorable Boyka, all right, have the strong mindset. Like, let me tell you, let me be honest with you. From these few days, the thing that happened between Ambassador Boyka and Costa, you know, to be honest with you, I don't think I could have done that. All right? I don't think I could have done that. From what I listened to Costa explaining, if that is true, I don't think if I was Ambassador Boyka, I would have done that. To forgo that amount of money just for Costa to become my VP, I don't think that those are difficult decisions for a person to make. So I think that many people not looking at, I think that really gave Honorable Boyka an edge in how he's going to make decisions critically, because Henry Costa was one of Ambassador Boyka right hand man. He did almost everything. He brought Ambassador Boyka from nowhere to somewhere. But looking at what transpired between them, for Ambassador Boyka to make a decision on that grounds, it really brought something in me out for him. But with the likes of his surrounding presently, I know who you're trying to talk about, but I'm not going to mention his name, from Nima Kante. Many people think that it's scary, but in my mind, I don't think so. Why? Because these guys work with other leadership. They work with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they work with President Weah, and there was no chaos. There have been no chaos so far. I think the problem here is our presidency is a very dangerous one for Liberia. The presidency of Liberia puts the judiciary and the legislature into the shadows. So because the president controls the budget, the presidency of Liberia control their monies, it controls everything they spend and all of that. So if they do not get the job done, the executive have the right to shut down their income, and they will be paralyzed. They will not be able to perform. That is the major reason why Liberia is not functioning like a real democratic state. Liberia is functioning almost like a communist state in the shadow, because the president calls all the shots. He makes all the decisions for the country because he controls the judiciary budget. He controls the legislature budget. And once that is happening, those governing bodies will function in the shadow. So as a result, what they're really supposed to do in order to bring stability and calm and peace and tranquility to the country, it will never happen. You and I will never see that. So once you have the wrong person in the house, on that seat as the president, Liberia suffers. Until the people decide to remove him, Liberia suffers. Yeah, because I wholly believe that the responsibility for peace and tranquility and a vibrant leadership cannot only solely and wholly reside or supposed to reside only on the president. Because if the president appoint somebody to appoint his cabinet ministers, it is the responsibility of the legislature to vet them out. The ones that are good and the ones that are not. It is their responsibility to do that.
Okay.
The legislature has so much power to cripple the president, and the judiciary have the power to control and regulate the laws. So if this functioning body does not have the mobility to function adequately and efficiently, the president will have his way. And if the president continues to have his way, it will be very detrimental for the country. That is one of the reasons why every leadership that comes to power steals and they corrupt and nobody can do nothing to them. Because if the president decides to have a way, he has his way. And I think that is detrimental for our country.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a point well made. Thank you. Mr. George, let me ask you this. We're not going to be here that long. After you, I'll try to open the line. But let me ask you this. With this election, you think after this election, doesn't matter which way it goes, you think Liberian will be on a better footing democratically?
It depends who want to win the election, and because this depends on the individual. Because what is happening now, Mr. Soul, that's what I'm all saying. This kind of attitude must come to an end. Because if the country becomes so polarized and the election is over, how can you govern? How can you go on? So that's what's more saying. The leadership of these different political parties should take charge, control of the situation, and try to speak to the people that this is the election. It's not about an individual, it's about Liberia. Yes, we can agree, we can disagree on policy, but at the end of the day, people that put forward the right one will win. It's not about individual. We should not make it surrounding an individual. It's about the country, so we should be debating on the policy issue. I think this is where we should be going. Because when we personalize it, then the country becomes polarized. Because everybody now going to say, hey, this is my person, we can't go this way.
So let me ask you, from what you're saying, are you suggesting or do you think it will be possible a good idea for these political leaders to have the second round at Farmington Hotel again? Having this kinds of thing that just transpired?
Mr. Tool, let me say that. I don't just care about the kind of thing that Farmington second round. We are mature people, we are grown-up people. We know that violence is not right. Violence is not a solution. Why we cannot tell our supporters we have to go to have special meeting to sign a commitment? During 1985, Ellen Johnson and Doden went to sign special paper. Yeah, the election, there was a problem with the election, but we did not see that much violence. I can't remember seeing violence like this. The only time I know that I've been beat up about the demonstration. That August and August, the two big demonstrations we had. Yeah, that time the police were in the street, they had rioting. But during the campaign, I can't remember seeing the kind of physical attack all over the place that it had been happening in Liberia. So the thing here is, people must take control of the institution that they're running. Telling your people violence is not the solution to the problem. We are talking about policy. Let's put the policy, the best policy, who will put it forward, and then let people make up their mind. But this kind of form, like you want to intimidate other people, that because they disagree, you want to attack them physically, it's not right. Because at the end of the day, if you win, how are you going to reconcile the country? The country will be polarized, will be highly divided. Then people now take up different positions, then we start having the same problem again. And you said something, and Mr. Terry was saying something about Boakai and President Cummings. You talk about records. Yeah, these people all have records. For the matter of fact, I support Mr. Cummings. These all people have records. But what you're saying there about Mr. Costa and Honorable Boakai, is that how Honorable Boakai going to rule the country? After you assessing that here, Costa called his father, what uncle, this and that. And what Costa explained, you want to talk about the money business. But the attitude of Honorable Boakai de Costa, as Costa alleges in our press conference, that he was never informed by Honorable Boakai. It was a day he just told them, hey, I'm taking Jeremiah Coon. Is that how a good leader will behave? Is someone, you and myself working together, you try to make a decision. Wouldn't it be better you call me and say, look, this is what I'm doing, this is the reason. Even though I may disagree with you, but you are giving me some respect. From what Costa said, it was like there was no respect for him. And his party chairman repeated the same thing. Samson told on the very platform when Honorable Joseph Boakai came to the state at the time. When the CPP, when he held in the CPP, when Costa was raining that insult on Mr. Cummings, Honorable Boakai said he was going to go to Murray to take charge of it. What happened? Did he ever call Costa to say, no, you can't be talking to this man, we disagree on policy, but you're going personal? No, he never said a word. And what I see, from what I see, Honorable Boakai would just be like, in terms of like Joseph or like Mr. or George Weah, how they address the public on crucial issues. This is the same thing we see going. That's the same pattern I see that will be happening. Because major issue, Honorable Boakai will not speak on this issue. So for you to say, yes, I know, we judge people sometimes by the past, and sometimes the person how they handle situation, we can say, okay, we can think of that the person will go in this direction. But from what I've seen, I really doubt it. That what Honorable Boakai will be able to put this country back together. Because yeah, in the other case, just issue a press statement that he's going to order George Weah. Hey, what about your own government that you served for 12 years? Why you didn't mention that, oh, we will order this government and that government, but you single up the CDC. These are things you do that people start developing animals that the person don't like me. So these are things we should be very careful. If you say audit, yes. So okay, we'll audit the two government, 12 years and 6 years, we want to audit everybody. The audit is not a bad thing. It just to make sure what you're taking over from what you saw there. And so when you leave, people cannot say you take this, but it doesn't mean that everybody when they say audit that people just see. No, some people have good record. So, but if you want to go down that path, you don't be personal because you are personalizing George Weah. And these are some of the things we say it's not good. When you say you're going to audit the government, say it. You said 12 years. You are putting your part there to say, hey, we'll audit the previous regime and the present regime. But no, you only single George Weah, the CDC-led government. That also brings some hard feeling to the people that, hey, this man just want to target us. So we have to be careful how we address the issue.
Okay. Let me go to Terry. Terry, any response? I know you've been listening to Mr. George, who's is talking about the possibility of Mr. Ambassador Boakai leading with the past experience with Costa, Cummings, and everything else that has happened in the past. And he's wondering as to what those are going to be the leadership ability and the traits that Ambassador Boakai has. Is that something good for Liberia when he becomes a leader?
Yeah, I think, like I said previously, that I was just giving an analogy of something that recently transpired that I felt that Ambassador Boakai could have taken that opportunity and utilized it, but he denied it in order to protect the party and also to protect his legacy. Because if he had taken that money, if that particular deal had gone through, who knows what would have happened if things go sideways. And even if he wins the election and that story comes out into the public, that could have hurt his career for lifetime. All right. So that was what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, everybody have indifferences. We should understand that everybody have different things. People do a lot of things. Even Mr. Cummings, he got the likes of other people that he brought on board that was also part of the previous government that have been accused of corruption and all that. What will you say about that? All right. And I've never supported any, in as much as I admire Costa and all those politicians. I don't support people abusing another candidate. Not because I support Joseph Boakai, so I'm going to support somebody for abusing. Joseph Boakai instead does not support anybody for abusing because he instead do not abuse. But when he say, when he even Yuri, Mr. Yuri that Costa listens to, told Costa on public radio that he have told him several times to not use certain words, but he still does. All right. So when you say that it is responsible, that JMB responsible to go and hold his hand and say, oh, don't say this, don't say that, no. All right. And we must understand that that has nothing to do with a person's characteristics to lead. Joseph Boakai was working, he worked with Ellen government for 12 years. Not a day he was vocal to her, not a day he was abusive to her. Even when you bring up issues, like for me, one of the problems I got with Honorable Boakai that I believe is his weakness. And I believe every leader has weaknesses. His weakness, I believe, he's slow. He's a flip-phlegmatic type of temperament. And those kind of people, their weaknesses are that they are moody. They take time to respond to issues. For Liberia need quick response. That is what I admire in Mr. Cummings. If something goes wrong now, the next day Mr. Cummings is going to speak about it. That's why I admire in Mr. Cummings. But on Ambassador Boakai, I believe that is something you got to work on. I believe every leader have that. But Ambassador Boakai have also a very excellent character that he observed pretty well. And when he analyze and make a decision on something, that decision will be a positive one that will yield a very rich result. That is something that I look at him from the perspective, and I believe that flip-phlegmatic have that characteristics to make good judgment. All right. If you read about the character, the temperament of a flip-phlegmatic type of person, they make sound judgment. And when they hold on to something that they know is real and is authentic, they stick to it until they reach to the end. All right.
Okay.
So I base my support and my analogy also not only on what the leader can do, but also on his temperament and his characteristics.
But
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask,
perspective.
Terry, let me ask you one
Analogy
question.
also not only on what the leader can do, but also on his temperament and his characteristics.
But
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask,
perspective.
Terry, let me ask you one
Analogy
question.
also not only on what the leader can do, but also on his temperament and his characteristics.
But
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask,
perspective.
Terry, let me ask you one
Analogy
question.
also not only
Hold on. Folks,
what
I'm not too
the
sure what's
leader
going on.
do,
Can you hear me?
also on his temperament and his characteristics.
But
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask,
perspective.
Terry, let me ask you one
Analogy
question.
also not
Mr. So,
only
Mr. I'm not too sure what's going on. Mr. George, are you there?
also on
Yeah,
his
but something is
temperament
happening.
and his characteristics.
But
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask,
perspective.
All right, folks. I think Mr. I'm not too sure what's going on. Mr. George, are you there?
Yeah,
Terry, can you hear me?
And his characteristics.
but
So
Terry,
it is
let me
All
ask.
right, folks. I think Mr. I'm not too sure what's going on.
Terry,
are you there?
Are you there?
Yeah,
Terry, can you hear me?
And his characteristics.
but
So
Terry,
it is
let me ask.
All right, folks. I think I think something's going on with
Terry, are you
there? Terry, can you hear me? Terry, can you hear me? All right, folks. I think. All right, okay. Hold on, guys. Something's going on with
Terry, are you there?
Terry, can you hear me? Terry, can you hear me? All right, okay. Hold on, guys.
Let's come together once more and work together once more. Let's come together once more and work together.
Okay, folks. Mr. Josh, obviously we're having some issues, so I will just call it good for the night. I'm not too sure what is happening, so I will. Okay, I think I'm not too sure. Are we still there, Mr. Josh? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, Terry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, but I don't know what happened here. But anyway, Mr. George, go ahead. Mr. George, obviously we're having some issues. Okay, it's still happening. Mr. George, can you go ahead and just give us your closing, guys, 2 seconds or so I can close it.
Let me say, thank you, Mr. Terry, for coming on. And I think we have a responsibility, all of us have a responsibility to tone down the temperature. And the leadership in the different political parties must be proactive. First thing, they have to be proactive, because these things don't just happen in vacuum. They have the discussion in the party headquarters, this and that. This is what we'll do. This we will do this. So they have to continue to talk to the people to tone down this rhetoric and violence, because I think we deserve, the voters in Liberia deserve better than this. You can disagree with me, but let us make our case to the Liberian people so they can decide. Violence is not the solution to anything in Liberia. We have gone through enough. We don't want to go back to the dark days again. But so I think that's the basic thing. Let the leadership continue to tone this thing down. But I just want to tell you, Mr. Terry, in every leadership, everybody has a responsibility. When people around you, in your close proximity, when they do something, the leadership has a responsibility to caution those people, to speak on that issue. You can't say because, I will have to take time to do this. No, because at the end of the day, it reflects on your ability to lead. So if someone is in your close proximity, it's not like me who waits saying I can't tell you what I see Mr. Coming far now. When I say something, he may not respond. But if I'm in the cycle, the echelon of Mr. Cummings, and I say something, it is incumbent that Mr. Cummings address that issue. You can't say not everybody. It's not everybody. It's in your close proximity. So there's a need for good leadership to do those things.
Go ahead, Mr. George. Sorry about that.
Oh, no. So I'm just saying there's a need when someone is close to, or those who are close to leadership, when they do something, there is a need for that leadership to respond. Because if it doesn't respond, it has a negative reflection on your party. I see all these people you're saying they're from Nimaka and this and that. But look at your candidate today. The man who is not one of the mouthpieces of you people, Eugene Falcon.
Yeah, well.
Really?
Okay, that's another thing. Mr. George, you think you'll be on Monday?
Yeah, I don't know. Just one day I didn't join you people. That's why you want to make it like I've been.
That 2 months, and we see you. I'll see you one day, that 2 months. I'll see you 2 days, that 1 year. So let me just let you know right away.
Mr. So is in Ghana waiting for you.
he was still okay. Terry, go ahead, give us your 30-second closing here, please. I hope you will join us Monday as well.
Oh, sure.
Okay, I will check my schedule.
Okay.
You see, Mr. Toole, thank you again for allowing me to share my opinions on your platform. I really appreciate it. But what I want to say is that I think that the CDC have a very good, clever strategy. And their strategy worked. And many people not paying attention to it. And the strategy was to eliminate Costa. This is not Costa. The Costa I know that I've been following for years. This is not him. And I don't want to believe it's because of what transpired between he and JMB. I want to strongly believe that Costa was eliminated by the CDC government, all right, because they knew that he would be a threat to these elections. Costa loved his country too much for him to be silent. And many people are not paying attention to that, all right? And I believe 100% that there is something they have on him that is holding him back. But again, that is why you see, I did not agree with most of the Unity Party people when Costa wrote a certain statement online. Hundreds of Unity partisans started lashing at him. They're lashing at him. They're lashing at Teria. They're lashing at Mr. Uri. If you say you are a rescue, that word rescue is a strong word. I don't know whether if they understand what it means. When somebody is, because I can swim, so I know when somebody is drowning in the water, if you go close to them, if you come from the front, when they hold you, you will drown with them. So you got to come from the back to rescue them. So, you know, if somebody is angry and they're using certain remarks, you don't just attack them on the basis of that, and you go all out, then you claim that you rescue. What are you rescuing? Then you're not rescuing. I think that that's a mistake. And I really believe they should have followed the leader. Ambassador Boyka said, Costa, I forgive you. Whatever you want to say, or whatever anybody want to say, let them say it. Let them vent all the anger. Let everything come out of them. Because you don't know what state they are in at that particular moment. And I think this is where the Unity Party failed. This is where they really failed. They came all out. They did all kind of things. Costa loved Liberia. Costa died for Liberia. Costa was put in the trunk to escape Liberia. I will never forget his sacrifices that he made. And I think that is one of the things that Unity Party is not paying attention to, you know, and I believe that is not good. But in my opinion, all right, in my opinion, like what Mr. George said, every political leader needs to hold their ground and fight for peace and breathe peace for this election to go easy, because we cannot afford to go back to the dark days. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. George, thank you very much. I'm sorry we won't be able to go the whole line here tonight.
Oh.
This is Friday. Terry, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, again, folks, Samson, I don't know exactly what happened to the system here for 1 minute or so. It went berserk on us. But I want to thank all of you. It's Friday. Please, whatever you do, stay safe out there. God help us out, protect us, and we're in your hand. All of you that are going to be going out again tonight, please stay safe and be back here Monday. With that said, I will say thank you very much and good night, folks.